Well, hello, I'm Abby Grewal, and I'm a senior here at Lumen Charter High School, and I would just like to share a little bit about my CNA experience as a high schooler. So it all started when I was interested in getting my CNA license in the first place. I had known a few people that went and got their CNA license to the college by taking night classes, but then I was introduced to the youth apprenticeship program here at school, and my mom and I went to meeting, and they told me because I was a senior that they would pay for my CNA class, which is really nice because those classes are usually very expensive. Then I would get to go and do my state testing, which made me a legal CNA, and then I would have to work 450 hours throughout my entire school year at a local nursing home. So I took my CNA class in the beginning of August. It was 5 days a week, 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. I took it at the Moraine Park facility in Fond du Lac. For the first 3 weeks, the first week and a half of those 3 weeks, I learned a ton of information, pretty much everything you can learn about being a CNA in a week and a half, which is quite a lot of information is what I learned in a very short amount of time. We had a lot of homework. We had 3 or 4 assignments a night, 120-minute videos to watch, 50 or 60 pages that we had to read. So it was quite a lot to retain in such a small amount of time, but it was good because then the second week and a half we did clinicals where we went to a nearby nursing home and we were able to practice what we have learned on real people and get that hands-on experience. I ended up passing my class with a 98%. And I made some new friends that I still keep in contact with today, so that's always a plus. So then after that, my next step was to do state testing. I was scheduled to do my state testing in the end of August in the Beaver Dam Moraine Park facility. There are 2 parts to the state testing. There's a written exam, which is just like a typical test, and then there's the skills portion where is when we test our hands-on washing and measuring and all that sort of stuff. The state beforehand gives you a booklet that has the following steps that state requires you to do the certain skills on, and some of the skills are bolded, and I actually ended up not passing my first round of my skills portion because I missed one of those bolded steps. And what happened was I was transferring my partner from the bed to the wheelchair. Her feet were on the ground, but they weren't completely flat on the ground, so I ended up not passing my entire skills test, which was a big bummer. But I scheduled again, and I passed with flying colors the next time. So it was a little patch in the road, but that's okay. You gotta learn to move on from those things. So then my next step was to hopefully be contacted by Fountain View, which is where I work now. I was hoping to be contacted by the beginning of September, but I actually was not contacted until the end of October, which kind of sucked because I need that 450 hours the whole year, and missing those 2 months, I lost a good 150 hours possibly of work time, so that really set me back. There was a lot of turnover at Fountain View, and then there was a lot of miscommunication between my 2 YAP representatives and Fountain View as well. So by the time I got to January, I had only had about 100 hours, and so my mom and I were freaking out a little bit because there was no way in heck I was going to get 450 hours in 5 months. So I would have to work full-time and work overtime, which obviously would not happen because I'm in school. So we had a meeting with a bunch of adults, and we were like, what are we going to do? Because she's not going to make that deadline. So we ended up cutting my hours in half, and now I only have to make 225 hours by the end of the year, which I am well over 150 hours, so I will be good to go there. So even through all the miscommunication and whatnot, I have had a wonderful work experience, nothing but positive. I love my job. I love working with people. I am very much a people person, and I love getting to go to work every day and get to connect with my residents and be able to talk to them, and going there and knowing that I am making someone's life possibly a little bit better each day. I work with wonderful CNAs that have been super complimentary and super helpful, and I have a mentor at work named Sam, and she's been absolutely wonderful for me, and trying to keep my busy schedule in line with how I'm gonna work and when I work and so on and so forth. So it's been really great. And I like to look at where I was. Oh, okay. Then and where I am now. I think about my third day of work. My third day of work's probably been my roughest day at work. I had gone into work after school, and we have wings in our facility, so each wing has about 15 people, and they're like, oh, we're short staffed, so we're gonna need you to work a wing by yourself. And I was like, what? Like 15 people, second day here, third day here. I'm not sure how well that's gonna work, but I went home and I was like, I don't know if I can do this, Mom. I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to go back. But I pushed through, and I'm really glad I did, because I love what I do. And I thank my mom for all of her guidance and support, and her nursing. Since she's a nurse, she has a lot of advice she can give me, and that's always certainly helpful. And it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of determination and motivation, but I think it has made me a stronger person. And because I have done so well at my job, because I'm technically an intern, I have actually been offered a job when I'm done, when I graduate high school, which is a big deal, and that is super awesome. So when I'm done with my internship, I'm going to go and fill out an application, and I'll have a part-time position, which I think is really cool. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody who is even slightly interested in the medical field. I think it is a wonderful experience that most high schoolers will ever get to experience. I think it looks really good on college applications when you're filling out those applications, and to say that you did this class and you have that experience, especially if you're going into a nursing school. Not to mention, you get paid while you get the experience. I make $13.75 an hour, which is a lot compared to what some high schoolers make. So if you equate that to a typical 8-hour shift, that's almost $130 a shift, which is good, because then I can save money for college and so on and so forth. So I highly recommend it to anybody, and even if you're not looking to go in the medical field, I think it's still a good interaction and experience to learn other things. I think that it's made me a tougher, stronger, and more patient person, because I have learned that patience is a huge thing when working as a CNA. Like I said, it's a very positive experience, and I work with all types of people. I work with people who can walk and talk and yell and complain, and I work with people who can't communicate clearly and require my full dependence to do everything. So, and like I said, there have been trial and errors, and there have been miscommunication and late nights, but you're gonna find that anywhere you go. So it's always good to have that experience, because you're gonna find that at any place you work. So, and like I said, the money is always nice, but that's not obviously why I'm doing it. And I also learned the importance of teamwork and showing up for your shift and being and communicating, and how important it is to do your job right, and to really care for these people, because they're in there because they need our help, and they're not just there to get in your way. And I really learned that being a CNA is more than just putting someone to bed and taking someone to the bathroom. I feel like when you have a CNA, you're really a CNA if you can have that personal connection with people, and you can have that heartfelt but humorous connection with people. And I have that, and that is why I love my job so much. Any questions?
Did you get school credit for what you did?
Well, that's the thing. So the 450 hours is supposed to count for, I think it's 2 credits of electives, and that's where they wanted me to get that. But if I make my 225 hours, I think I'll get 1 extra credit, which I don't need it, because I've been in choir all 4 years and band and whatnot, so that was not a huge concern for me. That's why the 450 hours is not that big of a deal. So, yeah.
So you said you found that patience is a really good thing, and I'm
Mhm.
curious, do you need your patience more for the people that you work for, like the clients, the patients, or do you need it more for administration?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I would definitely say both. I do think I have to realize for the resident side that I don't know why it took me a while to figure this out, but some people don't move quickly, or people just they don't understand. A lot of the times residents don't understand that they are not the only people in the facility. I'm sorry, but there are 45 other people that need to be taken care of, and you wanting a snack right now is not at the top of my list. And when they follow you around and they're like, you never do anything I ever ask, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to go, whatever. But it does take patience to just, I love you, but no, not right now, and it's also very frustrating when people don't show up for work, and you have one person or two people to take care of 40 people, and that's almost insane. That's almost impossible. And when people just call in and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not coming to work. Well, why? Because I don't want to come into work. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that's how that worked. But so it's it's a tough situation, but it's good to have that patience to
Learn it now.
So
Thank you. Vicky?